Hello, hello, this is Jen. I hope everybody's good. I'm here with an energy update. Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you're not new. Thank you for being here. So once again, lots of things happening in the beautiful collective energies. And we're going towards a new moon this Sunday on April 11th. There's, as always, a lot of different layers of energies happening all at once. And we can definitely feel it. The new moon energies are already in. There was a huge spike in the Schumann resonance last night. So if you had trouble sleeping, that's probably what it was. I know it hit me very hard for like 2 or 3 hours around 11 p.m. Eastern Time. There was this wave of new energy coming in, the ones from the new moon. And they feel so very different. It's pretty amazing to see. For those who are feeling the gap in between the new earth and old earth, now more than ever, we're going to see it and feel it even more. These new energies will just propel forward the ones that are ready to go towards the new earth, or the ones that are already in it. And the ones that are not, of course, they have their free will, but they will most probably stay there for a little bit longer until they're ready to make the jump. So this, even though these energies are sweet, smooth, calm, very loving, very relaxed, it may manifest or show up as a surprise in people's life, because it may create situations where there's a clash in energy, especially if you feel that you're more towards the new earth than the old earth. You may have a lot of difficulty being in the presence of someone who's not in the new earth. The difference in density with those two energies is so intense. It's very difficult not to see it. For me anyway. So this new moon will bring another layer of spiritual ascension. And for those who are already hypersensitive, well, you're going to become even more sensitive. Even more sensitive. You're going to pick up on people's energy much faster. You're going to pick up on what they're thinking, what they're feeling a lot quicker. It's going to become like natural for you to do. It may be disturbing at first. When we first step in these kind of energies, it can be bothering because it can create situations where you're surprised or you think it's you thinking about something, but it's not. It's the other person. So be aware of that and be very careful not to do any kind of projection, because the projection will be very high after this new moon. Just pay attention. Is this coming from me? Is this not coming from me? Is this in my own energy field, and is it mine or is it not mine? It's not so easy to identify, but it's totally doable. The more aware of yourself you are, the more aware of others you are, the easier it gets. And the more sensitive you are, the easier it gets for you. Amongst that, the new moon will bring very healing energy. A lot of people will be triggered into either a dark night of the soul or a healing phase that most people are not seeing. They won't see it coming. It will just like show up, bang, come knock at your door one day, and boom, you're in that phase where you need to heal. And the bigger the surprise, the bigger the resistance you had in your field. And that's what the new moon is going to come and change, is take away the resistance so that the collective can ascend higher as a big family. So be prepared for that if you have some people lashing out at you or fallouts with people in your surroundings. It's also time to get rid of lingering energies. In that healing phase, there's a lot of ancestral healing being done, or that will be done. Basically, a lot of ancestral healing on the program for the next few weeks for a lot of people. It will help us rebuild ourselves in order to be aligned with the new earth. So if you have a feeling of, it feels like I'm coming home, that's what it is, because we are coming home. The new moon will support us into coming into our awareness, our truth, authenticity, therefore coming home to ourselves, coming home to us, which will have a ripple effect in all of your relationships, in all areas of your life. Because when we come home, there's no more resistance, there's no more gap, there's no more denying, there's no more not seeing. You're just you. And you see everything, you're connected to everything, because we're all one. So unity is also a big theme for this new moon. Unity, connecting to our heart and following what our heart wants us to do, no matter what the outcome is. If you have a feeling in your heart, it's valid, and it's okay to pursue that feeling, to see where it goes, to see what may come out of it, even if the outcome is not the one you want. At least you can check that off your to-do list, or you won't be feeling that pressure anymore. And at the same time, you may be planting some seeds for what's coming in a few months for you, because that's often how it works. We may not always see it, but sometimes through our actions, we plant some seeds. And when they're ready to grow, they grow, and we see those manifestations in our lives. People coming back or new people showing up. And we don't often think about, how did this happen? We tend to do that when it's a negative outcome, but when it's a positive one, we don't think about it. But it is a great exercise to become aware of what we did to manifest so-and-so. And you'll come to realize, if you do the exercise, you'll come to realize that you most probably been planting seeds without you being aware of it. Like the root is somewhere. Something you did, something you had in your mind or in your heart, and then it manifested in your life. The new moon will also bring energies of fluidity, if I can say it this way, things being more fluid, especially time being fluid, going faster, going a lot faster actually. You may already feel that. You may already feel like, my God, the days are going by so quickly, it's nuts. It feels like I'm always doing something, and the to-do list never shrinks. It always stays the same or longer and longer, because as soon as I check something off, there's something else showing up. So yeah, time is going faster. And I did talk about that in my last video. I did not have time to look further into the subject, but I have seen in the scientific community that it has been proven that time is going faster. I want to take time to look into that deeper to understand this phenomenon so that I can, first of all, apply it in my life, because I do feel it in my personal life. Time is going by so quickly. It sometimes makes me feel like I'm losing my mind. I know I'm not, but it feels like, oh my God, like, it feels like I just turned around and it's already like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. What's that about? So yeah, I'm going to look into it and talk about it, make a video about it. That also means that we're moving through our healing phases a lot faster than ever before. Ever before. We're clearing much more stuff in less amount of time. That can be very demanding, but it also means that your body can take it. It also means that you can take it, that we can transmute all that density, all that negative energy that may be present in our field or surroundings. Acceptance is also a huge theme for the rest of the month. Why acceptance? Because if you don't accept the way things are, if you don't accept that things are the way they are right now for you, and that they are perfect the way they are, you cannot really or fully heal. Healing always starts by accepting what happened or what is, and then moving on to forgiveness of self and of others, and then moving on to transformation. The transformation starts with the forgiveness. And then as you move through that transformation and you start creating and building new things, you are healing. You are definitely healing. And it's not always an easy task to move through that with grace and dignity. We often second guess ourselves. We may doubt ourselves or ask questions, too many questions for some. When we break our heads trying to figure out something when we're not supposed to, when we're just supposed to be, just supposed to live. So by accepting that things are not perfect or that they are the way they are right now, you are making it a lot easier on yourself to move through the healing phase. And April is a very good month to do that. We're getting ready to move towards this summer for people in that part of the world anyway. And by getting ready, we are basically preparing for what's coming starting in June. In sports and in a lot of discipline, for that matter, preparation counts for a lot. It's even bigger than the actual competition for some. Like preparation is everything. So think about it this way. Being in prep time means that a lot of changes are coming for you. They're coming your way. They're already there. It's only a matter of allowing them to show up in your life without putting pressure on them, without denying. It may sound weird that I'm saying denying, because I've seen so many people asking for things, trying to manifest stuff, and then once it shows up, they deny it. Or they're like, no, I don't want it. And that may be very hard to understand if you're on the receiving end of this. And what I can say about it is most of the time, like 99% of the time, fear is behind that denial. It's about these people. They're afraid. They get afraid. It's like too good to be true, or like it's triggering them. It's too intense to handle. It's too hard to look at straight in the face, so they deny. But behind that denial, there's fears, there's self-doubts, there's a lack of healing. Because a healed person would just accept the manifestation, arms wide open, right? Of course, it could be a little scary, but a little scary is totally different than denial. A little scary is like, I'm excited about this, but I'm a little afraid at the same time, but it feels good and I feel called towards that thing, that person. Denial is like being totally disconnected, being like, no, closed off. I don't want this. I don't want this, looking away. I don't want this because I'm afraid. I'm afraid that I'm not good enough. I'm afraid that I'm not going to succeed. I'm afraid that, especially in relationship, I'm afraid that I'm going to hurt you. I'm afraid that I can't give you what you need or want. So yes, this new moon, very powerful, extremely powerful for that matter. It's going to change a lot of people, a lot of us. And change is the only constant in life, right? Everything keeps on changing all the time. It's something that we cannot stop. So it could be scary to look at for some people, because some of you may be thinking, yeah, but if I keep on changing it, I'm not going to recognize myself anymore. And that's a valid point. And at the same time, it's not. That's why we're here. It's to achieve our full potential. Sometimes some changes are more scary than others. Like the bigger it is, the scarier it is. Or when you're working on a relationship and you connect with someone and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that this person exists. I can't believe that this kind of love can exist. This kind of connection exists. I don't believe it. And then you get scared. And it's okay to take a step back and take it slowly. It's not okay though to close yourself off completely, because when you do that, you close your heart and you're going to create a lot of suffering for yourself and for people around you, because everyone's actions have an effect on other people. And when we get stuck in fear, we're not the only person suffering. Other people around us are suffering at the same time. Not for the same reason or not exactly in the same way, but they are suffering too. So think about that. If you get triggered and you get scared and you feel like denying before you take that road, take a moment to take a deep breath and ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? How would I feel if I go through this and the worst situation happens? Or how do I feel if I don't go through this? Will I have regret not trying it out? And what's the best? Being afraid of doing something, doing it, and risking not having your perfect outcome, or regrets? To me, that's a very simple question to answer. Regrets are a lot more difficult to live with than being rejected, for example, or not having the outcome you had in mind. Having regrets is a very dense emotion and energy to deal with, along the same lines than anger. Very difficult to integrate. Actually, it's, in my case, having regrets is something impossible to integrate. Having regrets for me is a call for, let's transform this situation. Let's do what we can to change it. In my mind and in my life, having regrets is not an option. My only option is expressing myself, following my heart, speaking my truth, and whatever happens, happens. We're going to deal with it. And sure, you can get disappointed sometimes because you don't always get what you want, but you can be sure that you always get what you need, though. So when you find yourself in those situations where you had envisioned something and it doesn't come true, ask yourself, what is it that I need? I wanted this, but is it really what I needed? And try to identify what you need and do that. Be a parent to yourself and do that. And when I say be a parent to yourself, is nurture yourself, take care of yourself, take care of your inner child until you're ready to try again and risk again. And maybe this time around you're going to see it come true. But regrets, for me, really, having regrets is not an option. Life is too short. Life can be too complicated at times to add regrets on top of this. Having a clear conscience, though, is priceless. And for me, having a clear conscience is being authentic and speaking your truth. And it is the perfect time to do that with this upcoming new moon that will support us into using our voice to come home to ourselves and express what we have in our hearts, in our soul. If you have it in your heart, it is coming from your soul. It is coming from your higher self, and it is asking you to do something about it. The new moon is the perfect time to take a look at that. So that's it for now. A short video today. You can follow me on social media at IndigoGirl555 on Instagram, Indigo Girl on Facebook. You can use my email to reach out at indigogirl555@gmail.com. And until the next time, be well.